Hi everyone, it's Dr. G. Welcome back to the Sociology Experience. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about the social institution of education. Education is the social institution through which society provides its members with important knowledge, including facts, job skills, and cultural norms and values. Now, historically, people learned what they needed to learn and survive in their families and communities. As society became more complex, however, there was a growing need to standardize learning. Back in the 1800s, a man by the name of Horace Mann proposed what he called common schools to be supported through taxes and that attendance should be mandatory. Schooling refers to formal instruction under the direction of specially trained teachers. This eventually leads to what's called a Credential Society, a concept created by sociologist Randall Collins. A Credential Society refers to the use of diplomas and degrees to determine who is eligible for jobs, even though the diploma or degree may be irrelevant to the actual work. The extent of schooling in any society is tied to the level of its economic development. The more economically developed, the more schooling is formal and available. This can be seen in illiteracy rates in global perspective. Illiteracy, of course, refers to the inability to read or write. And so you can see that the countries represented in the brownish orange colors are countries that have very high levels of illiteracy. When we take a look at educational attainment in the US, you can see that over the last 100 years, a higher percentage of the US population graduates from high school and from college. Let's take a look at some of the major problems within the US educational system, including low teacher pay, violence, grade inflation, school choice, and lack of critical thinking. Let's start with low teacher pay. And you can see on the slide in front of you the teachers' salaries across the US. And you can see that the pay is relatively low, and especially low in certain states across the US, those that are represented in the blue colors. Violence. Shootings have become a common occurrence in schools across America. Bullying has also been on the rise and is a major problem. Grade inflation refers to the awarding of ever higher grades for average work. Research shows that much higher grades are being assigned than ever before. School choice is a term for pre-college public education options describing a wide array of programs offering students and their families voluntary alternatives to publicly provided schools, to which students are generally assigned by the location of their family residence. So school choice is giving parents choices in where their children get an education. And on the surface, this sounds like a good thing, but some research shows that it amounts to giving up on the country's commitment to public education. This is especially true for schools in central cities where the need is truly the greatest. And another major problem in the US public educational system is a lack of stressing the importance of critical thinking. And critical thinking is defined as the art of evaluating and analyzing thinking with a view to improving it. In other words, another way of looking at critical thinking is thinking about how we think. In other words, encouraging people to ask questions, to not believe everything that they hear. And this is something that it seems is not stressed within our public schools today in the US. Our public schools seem to be very focused on standardized testing, which is basically the pounding of information into kids' heads and then regurgitating it on standardized tests. Critical thinking is so incredibly important in order to produce citizens that are aware of their country and how things work and how things operate, for them to question what is happening in the world around them and to not just simply believe everything that they hear and see. And unfortunately, it truly seems that there is a lack of critical thinking within our schools. Thank you so much for joining me for this video, and I hope to see you back soon. Bye-bye.